After completing my medical studies, I secured a position as a driver for an ambulance. Originally, I viewed this job as a temporary measure until a vacancy as a physician opened up. However, as time went on, I became accustomed to the role and grew content with the status quo. Undoubtedly, the work proved physically and psychologically demanding. Witnessing the daily suffering and anguish took its toll. Nevertheless, I formed strong bonds with my colleagues, causing me to reconsider leaving the role behind. Residing in a quaint village, I possess a cherished ancestral home inherited from my grandfather. To restore it to its former glory, I toil extra hours, clinging on to the hope that one day I will see its completion and share it with my beloved. Yet my commitment to my work has left me without a romantic partner. Being plagued by insecurities and a timid nature, I lacked the boldness to approach anyone romantically. However, fate intervened one fateful day during another emergency call when I laid eyes on her. Those who have experienced love at first sight will comprehend the profound sensation that overtook me. There lay a delicate young woman, confined to her bed, unable to move. According to the doctors, her leg suffered a grave injury, rendering her incapable of independent mobility. In the absence of male staff members that day, I volunteered to assist and carried her out of the house. As I cradled her in my arms, the entire world around us evaporated into insignificance. Gazing into her eyes, it dawned on me. I yearned to safeguard and shield her for the rest of my days. But first, I had to earn her affection, and that meant setting aside my timid nature. Netisha's fracture was severe, keeping her in the hospital for a lengthy stint. I made frequent visits, bringing bouquets and fresh fruit. She saw through my tenderness, sensing my love, but her response was frosty. During this time, my colleagues bolstered my spirits, cheering on my attempts and endeavors. After a month, she was released from the hospital, and I continued my wooing outside the confines of work. Netisha was guarded for a long while, keeping me at a respectful distance. It took the better part of a year to thaw her frozen heart. Even after we started seeing each other, doubts about her feelings lingered in my mind, prompting me to double down on my efforts to win her over. Finally, resolved to take the plunge, I proposed to her. She declined twice, but on the third attempt she agreed. Following our nuptials, she soon became pregnant and brought our son into the world. It hit me then. I had finally crafted the family I had always longed for. My cherished wife took charge of the home, looking after our son while I earned our keep. The house always exuded the aroma of delicious meals and was meticulously clean, so I never found a reason to linger at work. The only aspect that bewildered me was my wife's evident disinterest in being intimate with me. I couldn't grasp why this was happening, so during her next refusal, I decided to confront her directly. Her reply left me unsettled. Netisha confided that her feelings for me were profound, yet they leaned more towards familial affection than romantic love. In that moment, I came to the stark realization that, all along, Netisha had not truly loved me. Hearing those words from my spouse was like a dagger to my heart. I withdrew into myself, frequently staying late at work to distance myself from her. It took a whole month for me to regain my footing, at which point I resolved to win her love once more. We started taking more trips to the beach, dining at restaurants, and enjoying casual outings at cafes. I showered her with gifts, brought her flowers, assisted with everyday tasks, and often took our son out to give her some much-needed respite. Slowly but surely, I started to observe a change in her demeanor. She began to exhibit more warmth towards me. Her affectionate responses drove me to the brink of joy. Throughout this period, Netisha was pursuing her second degree, this time in law. She had grown disenchanted with her previous job as a dispatcher and was determined to secure a position as an attorney. Once she graduated, she almost immediately landed a job in her field, which left me feeling quite disheartened. Ever since then, Natasha has undergone a transformation. She's been taking better care of herself, hitting the gym regularly, and adopting a healthier diet. While many around me didn't seem to share my worries, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The fear that my wife might have found someone else was gnawing at me, leading me to monitor her every move obsessively. I scrutinized every detail of her life, from her daily road home to the secrets tucked away in her mobile phone. Although this exhaustive investigation provided no concrete evidence, clarity arrived with the summer. When the warm season rolled in, my wife took our son to stay at her mother's rural home, which I was fine with since he adores spending time there. One day, she approached me, expressing the need for a heartfelt discussion. I could feel a knot forming in my stomach. The anticipation was unbearable as I fretted over the impending conversation. Sitting opposite me, Natasha clasped my hands, averted her gaze, and let out a gentle sigh. She confessed her feelings of love, and my heart sank. I desperately hoped it was of jest. However, there was no humor in her continuation. She revealed that her heart had been won over by a colleague from her office, someone she shared close quarters with daily. Their mutual attraction was instant, yet they had only recently considered exploring a deeper connection. Natasha reassured me that there had been no betrayal. She held too much respect for me to deceive me so cruelly. Peering into her eyes, the painful truth hit me. The woman who was my whole world, the love of my life, was contemplating walking away. I didn't embrace her, merely requesting that she bring her son to me more frequently and be cautious. Natasha embraced me tightly as she bid her goodbye, expressing her remorse once again for all that had occurred. Then she simply departed, shutting the door behind her. I won't conceal it, I was wounded, feeling as though I had been trampled upon and morally demolished. Profound loneliness and discomfort engulfed me, yet I had no authority to detain her. Throughout our entire marital existence, I waged battles for our unity, doing everything in my power to ensure her contentment. I never ventured out to pubs with friends, never returned home under the influence, nor did I let my gaze wander. This act of betrayal shattered my mental equilibrium, leaving me incredibly irritable. At work, there were conflicts that necessitated my resignation, prompting me to seek alternative options. At that juncture, I resolved to relinquish my career in medicine, hoping to leave behind the memories. A friend of mine aided me in acquiring rotational employment at a construction site, effectively augmenting my income. By the time we finalized our divorce, I was acclimating to solitary life when, unexpectedly, she re-entered the picture. Delight surged through me upon seeing her again, particularly knowing that things hadn't worked out between her and that man. At the core of my being, I still held affection for her, yet I couldn't bring myself to excuse her actions. My wife requested that I take our son for a spell while she searched for a place to rent. Perhaps she harbored hopes of rekindling our life together, but I never extended that olive branch. Deep down, I knew that nothing good would arise from it, so I chose not to pursue that path. One betrayal had already left its mark on me. Still, my feelings for her remained quite vivid, as she is the mother of my child and will always hold a place in my heart. Once our boy reached the age of 15, he began to spend more time with me. He craved that paternal presence. By then, he had grasped the situation and took it all in stride.